Just one second. So Hare Krishna, everybody. So whoever wants to read can raise your hand. And today we will start our 10th chapter. So before we start our journey, let's start with our Mangalacharan. Yes, devotee Kirti, you can unmute yourself, and after the Mangalacharan, you can start reading. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Om Anyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanusute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripandubhaiva cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, and now let's dive into chapter 9, continuation of 9, 10. So let's see what is 10th chapter called, the opulences of the Absolute, and the Absolute is only Krishna, and it is called Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means the opulence. So before that, let's have a quick recap of the 9th chapter. Between 9, 1 to 10, Krishna spoke what's called the most confidential knowledge. Guhyam. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Right? So, and how to approach Krishna. Between 9:11 to 9:25, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Like Satatam, always you think of him, right? And this is the journey and the sweetness of devotional service. He's talking about that here, right? How beautiful this entire devotional service is. Right? So now let's dive into, now we saw the sweetness and now we will read the process. Hare Krishna, devotee Kirti, you can unmute and read. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord said, "My dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for your benefit and which will give you great joy."
Hare Krishna. See very clearly everywhere, it says Shrunu. Here also he starts with Shrunu, which means Shrunu means listen. So he's very clearly telling, everywhere you see he appreciates Arjuna. He doesn't look down on him, right? He says mighty armed Arjuna, right? So he's like really, talking so high about the person, even though he's a Shishya. And whatever he's talking is facts. He's not falsely praising them. Now he's telling, with that I shall impart you for your benefit, right? He's clearly telling for whom he's doing, he's going to do for his benefit. And that he's telling that it will give you great joy, right? He's going to give him great joy and happiness, right? So he's also telling two things, where it is spoken for this benefit, which means that it is spoken for our benefit. And then it is going to give him great joy. Hare Krishna. Name Vidu Suragana Prabhavam Nama Harshayah Aham Adiri Devanam Maharshinam Cha Sarvashah. Hare Krishna.
Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. Shall I continue the next one?
Can you increase your volume a little bit, if it's okay? And you can
is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. Thank you.
Okay. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins.
Hare Krishna. So what does he say? See, there is a picture out here, and can anyone guess whose picture it is? So all devatas are praying, fine, but who's the Mataji who's sitting down? Right. So any guesses you can be on chat. Meanwhile, what he's saying, neither the host of devatas.
Kayatu.
Sorry.
Kayatu. Kayatu.
No,
Kayatu.
no. In this context, this picture is talking about Devaki. So Devaki is carrying Krishna in a room, and we have all the devatas. Right? She is not able to see the devatas. Why? Because all these devatas are having subtle body, right? We have gross body, earth, water, fire, ether, air, right? But they are made of subtle bodies. She is not able to see. But what are they doing? They are offering prayers to, for Krishna to come, right? And also you can see great devatas like, Shiva and Brahma are also there, right? She's able to feel the presence of someone, but she's not able to spot really who they are. So what are they saying? Neither the demigods nor the great sages, right? We call Sapta Rishis. So we'll see that subsequently. None of them know the source of these devatas, right? Source of the Krishna, because he is it's just not possible for anyone to know him, which is one reason why Krishna has to talk about himself, and because there's no one who can talk about him, right? And as I always say, he is beginningless and he is unborn, right? He is not born like us, right? And he is always so clear, and he is somebody who is he is somebody where nobody can match, right? So this is what is said in by Brahma also in his first prayers, right? Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam Hare Krishna, which means that he's a reason for all causes. At the same time, he is beginningless, he's endless, and there's no middle. He is the supreme Lord of not just this world, but of all lords. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, are born out of my mind, and all creatures in these planets descend from them.
Talking about the 7 sages, right? The Sapta Rishis we're talking about, right? Who actually are around the Dhruva. They are also permanently there. So of them, few of them are Kapila, Vyasa are all in that list. And the 4 great sages are, anybody can guess who are the 4 sages, great sages?
No, I think the
The
son of
Kumaras.
Brahma, Kumaras.
So, yeah, Sanat Kumaras. Yes.
Right.
Sanat Kumaras. So Sanat Kumaras, they are Brahma's children, Manasaputra, born out of their mind, and they are very old, but they are continue to stay at the age of 5, because they feel that if they become old, they will get materially attached, right? And they are very special because they are permanently in that age, right? And also Manu, all Manu, so and they are the progenitor of mankind. They're all born out of their mind, right? And from them only we ascended. So we all know, right? The Manu Samhita talks that, right? How we all ascended and taken forward. So that is what he is talking about, right? So these are the 7 rishis as well as them. All the also won't know him. So he's telling finally, none of them know. Devatas don't know. The Sapta Rishis do not know. None of them know. Which means who will know Krishna is what he is going to tell here. Hare Krishna. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tatvatah so vikalpena yogena. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. He who knows in truth this glory and power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service of this.
So beautiful. He is telling that whoever knows his true glory and power, right? He is none but devotee, right? Unalloyed devotional service means, like the kajal. It says that somewhere, like how you wear itex, like that, it's like unalloyed. What do you mean by unalloyed? Alloy is a combination of 2 metals, right? Bronze and all that. So unalloyed is opposite of that, where there's no mixture. Like even in gold, they mix copper, so they make it alloy. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So here it is so beautiful. So that is what he is trying to. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Pure. Yes, Rahul. So, so pure, right? So that is the speciality. So what does he say now? Hey Krishna, aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam udabhava samanvitaha.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Hare Krishna. So he's very clearly telling that I am the source, right? This he already told about his internal, external energy in 7.4 and his internal energy in 7.5. So now he is telling that only. He's reiterating, telling I am the source of both the spiritual and the material world, right? And everything emanates from me, right? The whoever is a wise who know actually engage in the devotional service. So he's very clearly telling that they will engage in what? In the devotional service. So service means Krishna, right? And they will worship me with all their heart, right? With all the heart, they will be worshiping me. So that's what Krishna is telling. So that is the continuation of what we spoke about devotional service. So let's hear. Hare Krishna. Machitta matgata prana bodhayanta parashparam कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं दुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me.
So can you see this? They not only surrendered, they have a lot of happiness. It is just not easy to dance like this. They don't know the crowd. This is called that nobody can act this, right? So they have terrible satisfaction. For all those who said, Krishna consciousness is inertia, does not have any movement and it is absolute silence, it's wrong. See, there's so much of activity and look how they are relishing this moment. Right? Oh, now we move on. Hare Krishna. So that is what he is saying, right? There's so much of pleasure. And Nana Bhajantam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Namamupayati Te. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. To love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
It is Dhruva. And what is he saying? He's telling that those who are constantly devoted, right, and worship me with love. So what he wants, he doesn't want fear, he wants love. And he says for them, whoever wants, right, we keep asking, how will we approach Krishna? What is the way? Now you all have a way, right? Somehow Krishna has approached, he's given you the understanding, right? That is why you are all enrolled. And of many people who have enrolled, only you have few, it's very few in terms of portion who have actually come and they are attending class. So can you see? Krishna himself will give the understanding, right? By which you can, Krishna will give. So we don't have to worry at all. When you're ready, Krishna will make sure that he is there for you. Hare Krishna. Tesam evanukampatam anyanajam tamaha nasayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata.
Hare Krishna. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
So he is very clearly telling that, for them, out of compassion, right? So he's in the hearts, as Paramatma, right? So he is actually going to be like a light and he's going to remove up the darkness, right? So what do you mean by the darkness here? He's talking about, the ignorance. So there's a beautiful video, given a chance I'll share. It's a part of a huge PPT. What does it say? It's a very beautiful concept which says that, what is actually darkness? There is nothing called darkness. Absence of light is called darkness, right? This was told by, Albert Einstein when he was a small child. So, and this he questions the professor. And this one, why is he saying that? Because he says with the level of knowledge I will destroy, right? The darkness, which is the ignorance, right? So the picture on the top right, can you spot what it is? Who they are?
Shukdev and Parikshit.
Yes, that's right. So this is, Sukadev song, Sukha, and this is Parikshit Maharaj, right? Grandson of Arjuna. And the one below on the left,
I do not remember the name. This is a story where the son actually gives the
yeah, absolutely right. Son is telling the mother he's
knowledge to the mother
Sukadev
eventually. I
is
think
the
that's the
incarnation of Krishna, and his mother's name is Devaduti. Devaduti is hearing from her son about this, and this is all over in Canto 3, third canto. This is coming in Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So we'll move on. This is a very important shloka, and if anybody wants to chant this particular shloka in your house daily, you can do it before the deity. So this talks about how Arjuna is praising Krishna, right? um, Two parts of it is there. One half is his personal prayers to Krishna. Second is basically he is giving, basically we will tell, right? We recommend, right? What we will tell, we vouch, telling that these are people who are actually giving us testimony. Like that, he is also telling that not only me, you may tell that I am his friend, and therefore, I'm promoting him. But trust me, not only me, but there are set of people who promote. Who are the set of people? He's telling Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, all of them also are talking about the high of Krishna in the same order. And more than anything, he himself is declaring. So that is what he's saying. And what does he say? Hare Krishna. Arjuna vacha param brahmam parantama pavitram paramam bhavam purusham shashvatam divyam adidevam ajam vibhum. So till this is prayers of Krishna. And he is now giving the testimony of others. Ahustvam rishayat sarve devasi narada tata asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva pravishime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, "You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narad, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
So this is what he's telling, which I explained. Right? And what does he do next? He actually continues, right? Sarvam etadritham manye yanmam vadasi dikeshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vido devana dhanavaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, know thy personality.
Very clearly saying that nobody knows a personality, and I totally accept that. Please go on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies. O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O supreme person, Lord of the universe.
Krishna, when he's so excited, right, Arjuna? And it happens for us also when we know, our friend or somebody who's very close to us is just an ordinary person, and suddenly when they are promoted or they get something very exciting, if we are in college and if she scored a centum, or if suddenly she's got a very high profile, what do you feel? You're so excited, right? She's this, she got this, she was with me, I know her, that excitement. Like that, Arjuna is excited, he's so thrilled, and he's just going on. The acceptance of Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only we can understand that Krishna is the supreme personality. So we should go into the mood of Arjuna, right? So whatever Arjuna, we can't go to the position of Arjuna, but at least the mood of Arjuna we should take. Only then we will be able to take it. And he very clearly is telling that only you know your own potential, because nobody is to know about Krishna, someone should be equal to him or more, right? But in this case, there is no one equal nor above. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. How should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord?
So now he is asking, okay, fine. How should I meditate on you? How should I pray you? So he's confused. So he's asking the question itself to Krishna. And he is going on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tell me again in detail, O Janardhan, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words.
Right? So this is like our kids, right? So when the kids are in LKG, we will hear. Now in UKG also they tell the same story. I went to the school, I saw a teacher, my pen broke, same story, right? A standard also same, third standard also same. Day in, day out, it's the same story. They don't have anything new. But aren't we excited to hear, yeah. Hey, your pencil broke, as if it's like one biggest, calamity of the world. Yes or no? Right? Oh my God, the teacher didn't come today. Wow, your teacher told you're the best child. Right? Don't we do this? Yes or no? Come on the chat. Yes. Right? Thank you so much. So that is what he is now excited, right? So he's telling he's not tired at all. He wants to hear more and more. He's telling, please tell me your glories, tell me your happiness. Yeah, go on. And he's going on and on. And thank you, it's Chinmay Joshi, Hare Krishna. Yes, so he is on and on, he's going on. So that's what is happening. So now the picture is open for you. Can you all guess? Not all at one time. I will show the picture. Now you all can tell who this person is. So now I'll start from the middle. Can you see the pointer?
Yes.
Sorry?
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Okay.
Garbhodakaya Vishnu.
Perfect. This one, where is the thing? Yeah.
Which one?
Can you see? Where is the pointer going off? Oh my God. Can you see the pointer? Or you can just see a lot of names. Can you see this from the beginning? We'll say, can you see this elephant? What is the elephant called?
Airavata.
Airavata.
Okay. And what is the, okay, this is, and what is the cow?
Kamdenu.
Surabhi.
Surabhi cow. Perfect. And who is this green color person at the top right? Green color. I thought you will spot. He's got a bow in his hand. He comes in the previous yuga of that of Krishna.
Lord Ram.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Rad, yeah, correct. Hanuman. And who is this person before? He came 2600 years ago. Right before Rama picture.
Buddha.
Buddha, correct. And this one, Narada, right?
Narada.
Right.
And this this sage who's having a long beard. He's on Rasa. So now we just saw in the picture, right? So we will start in reality, right? So what is he telling, right? Now he has to give a glimpse of everything. So what is he saying? He's telling
Yes.
among the Adityas, he's the Vishnu.
Enema,
Among the
I
light,
have a new phone that kind of
he-
sucks, but I'm okay with it.
give me a tea.
Krishna. Among the
got a
Adityas,
new-
he's the Vishnu.
Phone that we already had, it might be Tasso's.
I'll just mute
Yeah.
him.
It's my new phone, but it kind of sucks, but I'm okay with it. Plus, it's out of charge.
Hare Krishna. So what is he saying? So basically, he's telling among the Adityas, I am the Vishnu. Among the light, I am the sun. Among the Marichi, right? So among the Marus, he is the Marichi. So among the stars, you all know moon is a star, right? So he says he is the moon. And there are 4 Vedas, right? Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Of which he says he is the Sama Veda, right? Among the Devatas, demigods, he says he is the Indra, right? Because we all know Indra is the most powerful and the king of kings, right? Among the senses, right? We already read about senses. He is the mind. And among living beings, he is a life force, which means he is consciousness. So what is the symptom of a soul? Consciousness is called the symptom of a soul, which is a life force, right? And among the Rudras, he is Lord Shiva. And Brahaspati is the teacher, right? So among the priests, he is Brahaspati, which means Brahaspati is the teacher of the Devatas itself. And among the vibrations, he is Om, right? What does AUM mean? A refers to Krishna, M is Radharani, and U is us. Among the chanting of the holy name, Japa, right? Sacrifice, right? So our mom, he very clearly says he is the Ma mantra also. And sages of the demigod, he calls him, Narada is the one. So we'll have an interesting part in the next sheet. Now you know, very quickly, among the men, he is a monarch. Monarch means king, right? So what does it mean? They always say, you know, king is a representative of the god. That is why king is expected to rule properly, and he also takes 6% of the sins, 1/6. You know, he actually takes that kind of a capacity of the sins of his subordinate. And among the cows we saw, right? Surabhi. And among the serpents is Vasuki, and among the snakes he is Ananta. Ananta means, you know, it's right, it's Balram, Ananta Shesha. And the aquatic deities, he's talking about Varuna, because you know Varuna is representing river, water bodies and all, right? And he tells among the dispenser of law, right, Yama. We may or may not like, but Yama is the right person who, you know, who spreads law. And among the deity of the demons, he is Prahlad, right? And among subduers, he is the time. And he says among the beasts, he is the lion. And among the, you know, he says among the purifiers, he very clearly calls himself the wind. And among the fishes, he is the shark. And among the rivers, Ganges. That's why holy Ganges is powerful. And among sciences, he is a spiritual science. And letters, he is A, the beginning of every letter. This is the most beautiful part. All the women highlight, and all the men, please understand. He says among the women, I am the fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. 7 qualities in women. Fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. He says he is all of it. Now he is not only leaving with the thing, he is also telling among gambling, right? Among the cheats, gambling is the worst, right? So he says that. And among Pandavas, so far we've seen, right? Why does he like Arjuna? Because he is his friend and a devotee. He also added one point telling he is non-envious. Now he is also adding among the Pandavas, he is the Arjuna, right? Among the sages, he is the Vyasa. And among the secrets, he is the silence. Because it's important we maintain silence when it comes to secrets. And months is November and December. So he is very clearly Hare Krishna. You can continue reading. Can you unmute?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. No being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me.
Shara moving, unmoving, Akshara. So he's telling that nothing moves or unmoves, which means anything, you know, you take a tree, it is not moving, that also cannot exist without him. Moving planets, nothing can exist without him. And he is the Bijam. Bijam means seed giving father, right? So he is the one with the seed, with his glance only made formed, right? Oh, mighty conqueror of, and that is next. So he is telling that. Hey, Krishna, read the next one.
O mighty, Hare Krishna. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
So beautiful. So he's telling whatever I have told you, whatever I have spoken to you is just an indication, right? It's a very small portion of my mighty opulences. It's absolutely very indicative. It's a very small part is what he's telling. So he is now continuing the next 10.41. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Hare Krishna. So beautifully he's saying. He says that all this is coming from my splendor, just a spark, right? And therefore he sings this. Hare Krishna. Yadyad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad ujitam eva va Tattat eva vagachatvam Mama tejom sa sambhavam. Hare Krishna. So he's very clearly telling that whatever you're seeing, right, spring, everything is just a spiritual spark. It's a very tiny spark is what he is saying. He is continuing. Hare Krishna. Atava bahunai tena kim nyatena tavachuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekam sena stito jagat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself,
I pervade and support this entire.
I pervade the universe.
Yeah, correct. And support this entire universe. So what is he saying? He's telling what is the point, Arjuna? What is it you're going to do knowing all this, right? Does it matter, right? Because he's only given a very small glimpse of the whole thing. He says with that glimpse of knowledge, with such a small detail, what do? I am able to pervade and support the universe, right? So that is a specialty. So if you see all these pictures, you can see, right? What the opulences Krishna is talking about, they are so much that you cannot really find even a small iota of doubt in it. That is a specialty of Krishna. And what is the point, in Arjuna trying to go more and more, because it's endless, right? He will go on and it's not going to end. So this chapter is a very beautiful chapter. It is small because Krishna kept it that way. Otherwise, if he keeps talking, we will just not have time to finish the chapter at all, right? So it's going to be so brilliant. And what does he say between 10.1 to 7? Name Vidu Suragana. So that means Krishna is unknowable and source of all. So he is clearly declaring that. Chittamat Gata Prana. So he is saying that essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? Pure devotion. We saw last time Mishra, which means mixed devotion. Now we are going to see what is the essence of pure devotion. Sarvam itatritam manye. That means Arjuna clearly accepts Krishna as a supreme person, right? He's telling he's totally surrendered, right? And he accepts him as a supreme person. Divya he atma vibhutaya. So Krishna describes all this vibhuti and concludes by saying, Arjuna, what is the point in knowing all this? Because I am just a single fragment, right? It's just whatever I'm telling you is a very small portion. And what are you going to do with this small portion? There is absolutely nothing you can technically do, because it is so huge and it's going to be endless. I'm going to go on and on and on. It is never going to end. So that is what very beautifully he is, explaining in this particular shloka, right? And Krishna, and I've been promising you all I'm going to tell you a story. So I will go on with the story. Do you all have any doubts? So with this, finish the session, but we'll go on with one more story. You all have any doubts, you all can put in the chat meanwhile, or you all want to ask. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kirti, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, so in this chapter he tells about his opulences, his splendor,
right.
but the thing is, he is there in everything, be it something which is splendid or something which is very small, which is not at all splendid. So when he's there in everything, why do we, I mean, isn't it obvious that he will be these in the splendor as well? So what's the difference between the opulence and non-opulence? Why do we have to understand that part? I mean, if he's in everything, it's just confusing me.
Okay, so basically your question is nice, but you know why? Because see, it's like this, right? Are you married? Do you have children?
Yes, I have to.
Okay, so now you know all the qualities of your child, everything you know, right? But when
Yes.
he goes to a school, that's what I was telling you. Are you not curious to know what happened? What are the intelligent things your child did? You know automatically, your child is here, right? Whatever is their capacity, well, but then when the teacher appreciated, you're so excited. You already know the opulence, no? Do you need that to be certified by a teacher? Yes or no? I mean,
No, it does make a difference when somebody else says this.
Yeah, so exactly, you answered. So now what happens is two things. One is, even though you know your child, you'll be very excited when I come and tell you your child is awesome. You may know that your child is awesome. She's a very nice child, right? Or he's a very nice child. But when I tell, you don't have a doubt, but you would like to hear, right? Now somebody else telling is one story. Now he himself coming and telling, mommy, I went to the school, he or she?
Both. I have
Your
one
child.
he, one she. One he, one she. I have both.
Okay, so he and the she, when both of them, that's nice combo, correct? So, they go and come back and tell, mommy, what all I did, I took a pencil and I wrote A, I wrote capital A, right? So isn't it exciting? Do you feel that?
Yes.
So now tell me, do you ever think that, Hare, what he's telling, I know, 100 words, but he's only telling capital A, a big deal. Do you think like that?
No.
Never, right? And it can be A, it can be, A for apple, and this can be A for Armstrong. It can become, astrologer, or he may be flying an aeroplane. But at every level, you see it great. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why? Is it because you become more knowledgeable in 20 years, or is it because your love is just increasing?
And maybe because of love only, right? Love
Correct.
is the.
Yeah, that's the same story. So when it comes to Krishna, two problems. First problem is, it will be very nice if someone tells, which is what he's also telling. If you see in the 10th, chapter, right, he is also telling, initially he appreciates, like, Param Paramam, Parandamam, Pavitram. Right? After that, what has happened? He also goes by the Narada, Asito, all these great people are also appreciating you. So he's adding that also. Why? He actually has a testimony. So he enjoys hearing. And he has to ask Krishna only because if you're, if somebody asks you, you go for an interview, right? When it comes to your children, it's fine, it's happiness. When you go for an interview, they tell me about yourself. Right? So you start, okay, I am so-and-so, I am wife of child of so-and-so, mother of so-and-so, and then your personal qualities, right? You talk about your strength, weakness, your opportunity, your, all that, SWOT analysis. So why are you telling all this? Mainly your strengths, right? Why do you tell? Because the other person in 5-10 minutes won't be able to, even if you take half an hour, won't be able to capture that, right? For someone who's just as normal as each other, right? In 1 hour, the other person can't get in, right? So therefore, we tell their strength. Even though we are all in the same platform, we are all more or less, most of us are within the same world, probably within India, within the same, some of us are within the same state. And your interviewer, you're meeting face to face, right? He can do that now, but he wants to see, he see it coming from you, and you are telling it because you're the only one who knows you good enough, right? Whereas Krishna is knower of everyone. So if Krishna is not telling, whether it's opulence or non-opulence, if he's not telling, right, one, we may not know. Second is, he's not telling to prove it to someone. That's why he says, don't, it will come, towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. Don't even waste your time to preach Bhagavad Gita to people who are not believers. But actually, whom is he preaching? Because all the devotees enjoy, just like how you enjoy and relish your child talking to you about his own experience and himself. Same way, he is telling because Arjuna is asking. That is why they say this particular Bhagavad Gita has to be read with the mood of Arjuna. Why? Because as Arjuna is a very big devotee, we should also relish it. Because when will we relish? Only when we are in a submissive state, right? And we see out of love. Submissive is possible, right? See, even my servant maid, I will tell, is submissive. But she will listen with her hand in the head, right? When will she finish? My God, I'm taking salary from her, right? That should not be submissive at the same time out of love, right? Your son and daughter goes on for 2 hours, each of them 1 hour, you will have all the time on the earth. But whereas if your boss is coming and telling you, you tell the boss, let him finish fast. It's not, at least I feel, boss, whatever you want to tell him. I hope he's not hearing this one, right? So likewise, all the devotees are out of love. They want to hear about it. And that is why he's concluding what you told. Hare, what are you going to do with this, right? Because with a fragmented part of whatever I told, just that tiny fragment I'm going to do. What? But Arjuna is not satisfied. He just wants to hear more and more. That is why he's making Krishna talk. And not only of Arjuna, many people who are the path of Arjuna want to hear. So this is for them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
I hope I answered. Hare Krishna.
Yes, I just wanted to understand that if he's Garuda in birds, then he's also pigeon in birds, right? It's not like he's only Garuda.
No, he doesn't say. You're right. Your understanding is right. If he's Garuda in birds, he's not that he is not a pigeon. What he's telling is generally what do I tell, right? So just as an example, right? Normally, the best of the thing you tell. So for example, he says, I'm the lion. Doesn't mean tiger is less. But why do you call the lion as the king of the jungle? You understand? So it doesn't mean, for example, he says that, I am in the syllable A. Doesn't mean he is not there. You understand? Do you get what I'm telling? So
yes, I now understood that, if he can be a bird, then he can go to the level of Garuda, in his opulence can reach to the highest level, not just be at the, lowest or subdued or regular level. So if he want, he can go to any extent in his splendor, in his opulence. That's what he is representing. I think that's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So he, which brings a very nice story, right? Since we have time, So there was one context, right? So now this is a context which, this is a story which I wanted to tell. So here what happened is, there was in, US, there was one thing, right? Is there anything Krishna can lift? Anything? So they told the story of Govardhan. You all know, as a small boy, he could lift at the age of 7 with his tiny left finger, this little finger, he could lift the entire mountain. So immediately, these people immediately asked, oh, Acha, he's so powerful, he's so great. So he can lift the mountain. Yes. Is there anything Krishna could not do? Right? Now, it's a very tricky question, right? If you tell, yes, he cannot do this, then it is based, he does everything. There's nothing he cannot do. So what happens? Both ways there's a loss. I'll tell you how. Yes, he can do everything. So there is nothing in the world he cannot do. That means there is something which he cannot do, right? There's a difference, right? Now, if you tell, no, Krishna can do only this much, then he's not God, na? There is limitation. So either ways, they will play the game. You understand what I'm saying? So they'll corner. So that is why he says that for him, lifting Govardhana hill is very easy. Okay. But what was it very difficult for him? He was struggling when he was asked by Yashoda Ma to carry a pot. And when, Nanda Maharaj asked him to carry his slipper when he was 2, he was just not able to take it. It was so heavy, wooden slippers, not like paperweight slippers now. He keeps in his head and he finds it so difficult to walk. Why? Because for the sake of everyone, he is very powerful. But for the sake of devotees, he is so weak. Because love dominates it. That is why Krishna gives anything. He will give you moksha also. He'll give you money. He'll give you liberation. He'll give you anything. What he will not give is, he will not give you pure devotion service. That is why this is called the secret. Why? Because if he gives secret, he has to actually be literally listening to you. Did you realize what happened? Charioteer is a very simple story, right? He is just the driver. Okay, fine. Very nice. But 2 aspects. What was the first thing which happened? Arjuna tells, hey, Senayor Ubayor Matre Radham Stabu. So what is he saying? Middle of the Senai, you please go and drop the Radham. So he is giving instructions to Krishna. So now Krishna has to be obediently listening. Fine. Also, there is a story. It's not like today, right? So you are in the somebody is in driver's seat. Somebody is like, I'm going to be a passenger. I can tell the driver go straight, turn left, turn right? Which is fine. But those days it was not like that. They used to have very pointed shoes. Why? Because in the war, they never had all these mics, earphones and all that, right? And if they shout, they can't hear. So directions were largely told by the use of the foot, so they will actually pat, they won't kick them, but then they'll pat them with the slipper, right shoulder. So that means go right, or right leg, this side. So literally the person who is driving the chariot will be touched by the foot with the shoe by the person who's behind. This is just one example I'm giving. So it is not all that easy to be a charioteer, and that is why, Nagula Sakula's uncle, I'm not getting his name right now. If anybody knows, can type in. They wanted to insult him by making him as Karna's charioteer, right? So did they not make him? He immediately, Duryodhana tells, you drive, be a driver. Otherwise, what is wrong? Krishna itself, it's not that easy. It's not like today. It's not like, a Sudra is only one who drives, right? People don't change the rules generally then. And today, everybody knows driving. So I will tell, you drive. We don't take it because we don't have that thing in us, right? So we don't mind. And we have to be down to earth because we are actually down. So that's the actual truth, right? Whereas Krishna is gone to that level. So why am I telling all this is because that shows the quality and nature, right? Even though he is greatest of all, he doesn't mind going to that level. And for a pure devotee, forget about the devotee surrendering, Krishna himself surrenders. It can be purchased by a devotee, which is why the whole thing is, right? So that's why he will not give devotional service. That is why how to be a devotee of Krishna, that secret he reveals in the middle, because he's very hopeful within the first chapter, 6th chapter, people will leave. And somebody who really wants, and what should be the mood? Very clearly, the beginning intro, they say, right? Nectar, right? This is like milk, nectar. And calf, is none but Arjuna. Like, we should be like that. And he is the one who is giving this beautiful nectar, and we should be in that mood to take it. Only then you'll be able to enjoy the nectar of Gita. Hare Krishna. I hope I answered your question, at least partly.
Yes, you had.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anything further, or do you want to end the session, or do you want another story? Or any more questions? I'm fine. What would you like to know? I'm waiting for you all to tell. Do you want another story? Okay. So do you remember the story of Madhavendra Puri? I told you all I'm going to continue one more story that day. And I told you the story of Madhavendra Puri and who stole, in fact, Gopal came and gave a pot of milk, right? And do you recall? So he gave a pot of milk, and, and finally in his dream, Madhavendra Puri comes very clearly as the, in his dream, and in Madhavendra Puri's dream, this Gopal comes and tells, please, come and help me, I'm in the woods. And therefore, our Madhavendra Puri goes and finds the small boy, getting into the woods, into the tree. And after that, what happens? He is very nice, and this small little boy is waiting, what can happen. And finally, he just waits and disappears in the dream. So next day he is so nice, right? He's following, he's not keeping quiet, he's just following. And after following, he does the next job of what? He sees that there is really a tree, right? And what happens in the tree? There, Krishna is inside, right? And after that, after this particular thing, he's totally stuck, not knowing what to do, right? So immediately he realizes, oh my God, somebody who came and gave me milk is none but Krishna, right? Krishna Gopal. So this is the dream he got, and this is a small boy who gave milk, and this one goes like this, right? And he actually goes to this place and he does all of that. And this is the deity where he becomes the head of deity. Now I told you, I will tell you the part 2 of the story, provided you tell me where is this temple. Someone should type where this temple is, then I will tell. Right, so I'm just waiting for you to tell. And as you all are telling, I will move to the part 2. So basically this temple is a few kilometers or miles away from Vrindavan. So the same, this is not the temple, sorry, yeah, this one. And what happens, this temple down, and same thing, what happens is, he is so thrilled, he is so thrilled with this kind of a thought, and he is like, very tempted. He's thinking, okay, what I will do is in his dream, in a second dream, he says, can you get me some camphor and pink chandan? Where will you get both from? Is he will get it beyond Jagannath Puri, beyond that place only there are places near currently which is called the Mayapur, that area. So he is supposed to travel that side and get these woods and other stuff. So he actually immediately next day, he's a devotee, right? He follows. So immediately he goes in search of the woods. And what he does, he goes there and he wants to collect all this for his deity, right? His deity name, it is Gopal, right? So he's doing that. So when he goes there, and on his way near Jagannath Puri, there is a temple, right? It's a Gopinath temple. He stays there, and this particular temple is very, very famous for kheer. Kheer means payasam. And what happens is he is very fond of this temple, right? Anyway, he has to stay. So he's thinking that I've heard so famous, this is made out of fresh condensed milk, dry fruits. It's considered best, right? So he stays there, and when they are actually serving Krishna, they're just taking it to serve. Immediately for a second, he thinks, wow, can I taste a little bit? Because if I taste and I know the feel of it, I can make like this to my Gopal also. Now, the moment he thought, he felt, oh my God, what a sin I've done, because, thinking is also wrong. Today we even eat, we don't mind. But there, he's very high devotee, right? So he's feeling very guilty. He's thinking, oh my God, how can I even think, right? It's not even served to Krishna and I'm thinking of tasting it. It's such a big sin. And immediately he feels I'm not even fit to stay in this place, and he leaves. He leaves and goes to a marketplace. He doesn't eat, he doesn't drink anything. He just says japa and he's just in one corner and he sleeps as usual. And he's very disturbed that day. And he's very upset also, right, eventually. And why? Because see, Manasa Puja is also there. A place where we saw, right, Patram, Pushpam, Bhayam, Toyam. You don't get anything. You're stuck. You're so poor, or you're stuck in a place where you can't do anything. You can't serve him anything. Even in your mind, you can think of him and give. It can't become a day-to-day habit, but then once in a way, exceptions are fine. So he is doing that. And then what is happening at that time? Can you even believe what happened? That time, the head of the pujari of that particular temple is getting a dream that his deity is telling him that, hey, priest, please get up. There is one devotee of mine who's hungry, who's not eaten. Okay, his name is Madhavendra Puri. And he is in the marketplace. I wanted to get up and I stole a particular pot for him. And I've hidden it behind the screen. Come take it, fetch it from me and go give it to him. So the pujari is very surprised, and he's shocked. Obviously, he's also a devotee. He goes and he opens the screen and there is one pot hidden. And that day is when Krishna is called Kheer Chor. And many people keep asking, right? Krishna is so powerful, he's called Chor. What is it? Anything which Krishna does is supposed to be pure. That is what I say, apapa viddham, which means so pure, right? Like sun, even there is urine, abnormal things, sick people, virus, they say, open, let the sunlight come. Why? Because such purity sun has, it sucks. Does it mean sun is swallowing everything and it is dirty? No, right? It's so clean. Like that, Krishna is so clean. He sucks everything. All the papam becomes like an antiseptic, right? It's called the anti-propyletic features, right? It makes it very good. So that is what is Krishna. And that is what he does also. And that is exactly what he is actually talking here, right? So immediately he takes the pot and goes there and he says, Madhavendra Puri, take this pot. Madhavendra Puri says, yes, because he's already in disturbed sleep. And he says, Krishna came in my dream and he said, you're hungry. Madhavendra Puri is so excited and guilty because he doesn't want to take service from Krishna. That is what exalted devotees think. They don't want even moksha. They just want to constantly think of Krishna, and love for Krishna is so unlimited because they enjoy that love, right? That is called the pure devotion, and that is what he is in. And that, now you understand what all Krishna can do for his pure devotees. He is. That is why they call him, in Tamil they say Thiruttu Krishna, in Hindi they tell Kamchor, or Kirchor. That is how he got this name, right? He steals butter also. And you will rarely see him doing it for himself. Always it is for his friends, for his devotees, and that's only what is in his mind. So he's even taken the role of a thief for this position. Likewise, every day I can add a little bit as to what are all the things he's done to spoil his own name, but to save the devotee, right? Nice. I hope you enjoyed. Hare Krishna. There is one nice chat message. So I'm going to read that from Subhashini Menon. Hare Krishna. A story. Class is very engaging and interesting. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. I'm also enjoying this session. Right? When I start the session, that 5 minutes, I feel a little exhausted because from the morning it's continuous. But when the moment I start with seeing all of you, I get the energy pumped in again. Hare Krishna. Enjoyed very much. Thank you, Kirti. Hare Krishna. Me too. So I will, Chinmay Joshi, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very good session. Yes, very good session. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we can end this session, right? We can stop the recording also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. All of you. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare